Shabbat Shalom, Kohol Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push in the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua, back with the World War III Daily Update, and Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you as well. All right, so let's watch this real quick. Hope it comes on. Whoa. Nuclear explosions, compilation, high quality. See that? We're going to read about this in the scriptures right now. And the mushroom cloud. Blast. All right, that's enough. All right, let's get a scripture that brings this out. This is Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against America, severe judgment against Babylon the Great. I will raise up against America and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. Who's that? Okay, the EU. I'll show you who rises up. A destroying wind. What is that destroying wind? Well, we just watched it. Okay? You want to watch it again? Nuclear explosion. Okay? A destroying wind. This. Look at that. Take it back just a little. Look at that. Destroying wind. See the buildings? Gone. Vaporized. That's the destroying wind. All right? What do you mean, those that rise up against me? This is God, Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, that's America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. Who is that? Go to Revelation. Let's go to 19. Who's going to rise up against the Most High and his Son? And I saw the beast, NATO and the EU, right? This is Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast. This is John on the Isle of Patmos. And the kings of the earth, all of them, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Who sent the one sitting on the horse? Yahweh. Who sent Yahweh's army? Yahweh did. This is them rising up, the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies, all of the nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who's going to rise up against the one you call God. Here it is right here in the Bible. And what are they going to do? Make war against his son and against the angels. There it is. Now we go back to Jeremiah and we read it again. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, this is America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. Okay. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Okay. Now, at one point, all of those other nations are going to turn their back, right, on America and come against her with their nukes. And against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigadine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. What are her hosts? Armies. Okay? This is talking about what's going to happen ultimately at the end of World War III. Okay? Now, with that being said, this is Patrick Humphrey, who I'm a little leery about. He's a weirdo, but he does bring out some good news from time to time. He's just kind of strange as when he gives his delivery, you'll understand what I mean. So, breaking: Russia deploys massive nukes aimed at U.S. and U.K. Huh? What are we talking about here? That destroying with nuclear only option. Okay, so this is 21 hours ago, yesterday. Listen to what he has to say. Let him bring the update. All right, here we go.
Major alert, major red alert. All right, Russia has readied their nuclear weapons. All right, they are locked and loaded, and they are aimed at the United States and UK right now with the capability to hit the United States and UK. All right, missiles that have over a 7,500-mile range to take out the United States and UK are aimed at us right now. All right, and this is all due to the escalation that's been going on inside of Russia. Russia has been getting hit inside of its internal borders time after time the past few weeks. There have been multiple attacks inside of Russia, and Russia is now saying that there's, quote, no other option. The only option to win against NATO is now nuclear. All right, that's what one of Russia's top commanders are coming out and saying as well. And now, Russia is also readying one of their biggest nuclear weapons, their Yars missile system, that could potentially hit the United States or the UK. All right, so we need to be getting prepared. We need to be ready. We need to stay on top of this because it's more than just because people say, oh, this is too much. Nothing's ever going to happen. All right. Even if the US isn't hit by a nuclear weapon, if a nuclear weapon is used inside of Ukraine, even this could rock global markets, rock global supply chains. Just everything could change overnight. We could see lockdowns inside of Europe, inside of the US, because look what's happening. These missiles are pointed at the US and Europe right now. So if something happens in the UK, they would be on even heightened alert, saying that we could be next, we could be the next potential target. All right, so this is real, guys. This could affect us, even if you don't, even if your country is completely safe. You have missile defense systems. You have the best military in the world. Whatever, you live in the United States. You think you're completely fine. what happens in the aftermath of a nuclear weapon being used and detonated. All right, that's what you also need to be thinking about. It just changes the landscape. It changes the global. It shuffles the global cards a little bit when when Russia shows that we will use a nuclear
That
weapon.
destroying wind is going to
And now a
change.
top Russian commander is even saying that this is our only option to defeat NATO, right? Because they're saying that we are essentially fighting NATO right now, right? We're not just fighting Ukraine, we're fighting NATO. And we are not able to defeat them with conventional means, and our only option at this point looks like nuclear weapons, right? So this is escalating, and this is not what we want, right? And this is happening because NATO has recently greenlit drone attacks inside of Russia, right? Russian bases have been hit. Russian nuclear bases have been hit with Ukrainian and U.S. drones. U.S. is sending tons of missile defense systems to Ukraine, right? Very expensive Patriot missile systems are going to Ukraine right now. And the price of these are it's about 100 Russian drones to one Patriot missile uh, defense, right? That goes out the cost wise, right? So they are fighting NATO. There's no way Ukraine could afford all of these weapon systems. Russia is fighting NATO right now. So let's get into all this news that's happening here. And I wanted to just recap on something that happened too. A massive cyber attack also happened on one of Russia's biggest banks. This is something that we could see retaliation Russia do to the West. All right. We were warned a few months ago when all this popped off that we could see massive cyber attacks coming from Russia. And it's one of these things that cyber attacks are so sketchy. Could be from Russia, but it also could be from any bad state actor, and it could be blamed on Russia. Look at this Ukrainian missile that went into Poland, and it was blamed on Russia, and it almost caused a Article 5 response from NATO, right? And it was Ukrainian. It wasn't even a Russian missile. Cyber attacks are possibly even more sketchy than that because they can be masked, and we don't really see the data either. Like, we don't see the data of where these cyber attacks are coming from, right? So one of Russia's biggest banks, major Russian bank, faced a cyber attack. All right. So let me get to my screen here. Major Russian bank faces unprecedented cyber attack. Russian airfield hit and suspected drone strike. So this was last week, but I just wanted to remind everyone because I feel like the drone strike got a lot of attention, but the cyber attacks didn't because we could see retaliation from Russia with in the cybersphere as well, right? They could start hitting banks in the US and Europe as well, and they're completely vulnerable. Everything's connected to the internet, and they could definitely get into these systems if they really wanted to. All right, so just a little recap here. It says that Russian state-owned bank VTB, the country's second largest lender, says it was hit by the largest cyber attack it has ever experienced, describing it in the statement as quote unprecedented. All right, so this happened just last. So Russia's been under attack. All right, Russia's been getting hit with drones, and one of these drones hit a Russian nuclear base where they store nuclear weapons. All right, and it was very close to hitting some of their bombers. And these drones do not operate at very long distances. This was deep inside of Russia, so these drones had to be launched and operated within, you know, dozens of miles, 100 miles of these bases. It had to be launched with Russia, inside of Russia, right? That's my theory here because a lot of these attacks were how do these drones operate so internally into Russia? It seems like there are bad actors inside of Russia as well, sabotaging things, helping the sabotage. All right, we know that the U.S., NATO, and the CIA are inside of Ukraine right now. I've made reports on this multiple times, and we know that they also are training people, and we know that they also have spies and internal, people in every
Moles.
organization, right? So there could be some kind of sabotage going on here. And I just wanted to remind everyone why Russia is doing this, why they want to use nuclear weapons, all right? So let's get into what this commander was saying. Russian commander says NATO bloc in Ukraine can't be beat without nuclear weapons. All right, he's saying they cannot be beat without nuclear weapons.
That's
This was just
CNN.
posted last night. He was
Grain
just
of
saying
salt.
this, and then today, this was probably all the same time because the news just got here today. But at the same exact time, Russia is also deploying and readying some of their biggest nuclear weapons systems. All right. So Russian commander says, "quote NATO bloc in Ukraine can't be beaten without nuclear weapons." So it says Russia can't quote defeat the NATO bloc in Ukraine without using nuclear weapons. A Russian commander in the east of the country said on state television Tuesday. Right. Commander Alexander of the Russian militia in the Donetsk region said on Russian One that Moscow's resources are limited. He also claimed that Russia is now fighting the entire Western world, which is why the next escalation of the Ukraine war, quote, only can be one nuclear.
Okay, we'll stop it right there. And you have to understand what's being said here. All right. It's not they can't defeat the Ukraine. What this guy is saying, he's talking about World War III. We can't. He's saying Russia can't defeat the whole world, and not the whole world, but NATO, its allies, okay, the Western powers. Now, is Russia going to be on its own fighting the Western powers? No. China's going to be there, okay? Who else? Uh, uh, North Korea is going to be there, okay? Iran is going to be there, all right? Meaning what? World War III, all right? We, what does it say? We don't have the resources to defeat the NATO. That's a bunch of countries bringing weapons. Okay, so what does Russia have to do? They got to get their allies, right? But we have nuclear weapons for that. He's talking about this is the end game. This isn't what's going on at this moment. And CNN is trying to push, oh, they're about to use nukes. They're about to use nukes. It's all their fault. No, it's you're on their doorstep. Okay, they don't have a choice but to get ready, right? And they say, hey, you keep pushing, all you countries, right? All you countries knocking on our door. The only alternative we have here is to defend ourselves. Now, China's about to get in there. Let me see. Let me break this down real quick. Let's go back one, or let's just go here. Okay, this Patrick Humphrey guy. He puts out another one. This is yesterday, and it says what? The U.S. just declared all-out war against who? China. What the hell is Babylon doing? Let's look at this real quick.
So my wife got me.
Slovakia. Let's just listen to a couple of minutes of this, see what he's going to say.
The US and the EU have just waged economic war on China. All right, we've seen this happening the past few months. We've seen a lot of big developments, but now it's official. They are directly targeting China, and they're also directly targeting you. Okay.
Okay, good enough. And he said economic war, but where is that leading to? All right. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor for what? Oil. Okay. So where is this going? All right. All out war. The U.S. just declared all out war against China. Well, is it a shooting war yet, or is it cyber war like what's going on over in Russia? The point is you see where this is going. All right. Thank you, Patrick Humphrey. All right, this is a day ago. All right, so let's get some more nukes here in 16. I'll get one scripture here and we'll get Revelation 11 and 14. Salakia. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. What is that talking about? That's talking about a nuclear missile, a ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues, what plagues, are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. What plagues? Got to get this. This is Zechariah 14. What plagues, yeah? These plagues. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. The plagues. All right? Revelation 20 and 4. Is it 18? Yep. Slovakia. Revelation 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her what? Plagues. That you don't get blown up with nuclear fire. What plague? And that you receive not of her plagues. What plague? Who's her? Babylon, America. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, who are God's people? The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and the speckled bird. And more specifically, come out of her, my people, are the elect of Israel. 1/3 of all the Israelites. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. What plagues? Those missiles. Okay? Come out of her. What does that mean? Come out of her, my people. How do you come out? Well, you get abducted by aliens. I love saying that. You get abducted by aliens. What does that mean? Come out of her, my people. It means this. Okay? It means if you're not abducted by aliens, you're going to catch them plague. What are them plague? Nuclear bombs. A great earthquake. Same thing, Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come out of her, my people, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, meaning they were abducted by aliens, and their enemies beheld them. Somebody didn't get abducted. They were mad. In the same hour, the missiles hit. Same hour was there a great earthquake in the 10th part of the city, America, Babylon, the great city, right? A great earthquake, the great city, Babylon the Great, right? The 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. Everybody that didn't get abducted by aliens died. And in the earthquake were slain of men. What does it mean, slain of men? Killed. And in the earthquake, everybody died. 7 means completion. So if you're in the earthquake, you die. Nuclear fire. Plain and simple. And the remnant, who's the remnant? The ones that were abducted by aliens. Come up hither. They ascended up to heaven in a spaceship. That word cloud, right? He maketh the clouds his chariots, the chariots of God, the spaceships, okay, that the angels fly around in. All right? The remnant, those are the ones that were abducted, were afraid. They were scared that they almost got their asses blown up by nuclear fire, but they didn't. They were saved, which is what it means to be saved, and gave glory to the power of heaven. The second woe, World War II, is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, so we'll end it right there. World War III is getting closer by the day. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect are edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.